reforms in education in the early years of independence of Kazakhstan formed a generation of modern, competitive specialists. Currently, integration into the global education space is gaining momentum. A talented reformer, scientist was the initiator of many innovative proposals, who continues to come up with innovative ideas in the field of education until present time.
4 Americans traveled to Ust-Kamenogorsk on February 6, 1993, and we were greeted by a man who had great vision, great passion for his society, but also a progressive view of where he wanted Kazakhstan to travel.
A breakthrough in the educational system was not conceivable without strong, vibrant personalities capable of filling the needs of the time, taking higher education to a new qualitative level of development. Erezhep Mambetkaziyev is called the reformer of Kazakhstan education, and not only for all the innovations he has been advocating, he always boldly takes responsibility for the decisions made. In 1984, he received an offer to take the post of rector of the Ust-Kamenogorsk Pedagogical Institute. For 7 years, Mambetkaziyev takes the university to a new high-quality level, and in 1991, it received the new status of East Kazakhstan State University. It was the first university of the Sovereign Republic and the third one in the history of Kazakhstan, after Kazakh State University and Karaganda State University. It was the year 1994 and the time of great changes. The country embarked on the path of independence. Integration into the international economic space has designated itself as a necessity. Sovereign Kazakhstan, the leader among the CIS countries, was the first to enter into cooperation with distant foreign countries. We are proud that today the economy of Kazakhstan is on a very high level and the intellectual potential is very high. Who introduced all this? Of course, our Kazakhstani universities. To take the Bolshak program, it was created by Professor Mambetkaziyev, the founder of the both East Kazakhstan State University and the Kazakhstan-American Free University, and it was implemented by him. The time required training of professionals of a new generation. The Kazakhstan-American Free University, as a unique, multilingual private higher education institution of international partnership, is opening together with the Americans and with the personal participation of the first president, Nursultan Nazarbayev. It was the beginning of fundamental reforms in the higher education of the Republic. The innovative activity of Erezhep Mambetkaziyev, the Doctor of Chemical Sciences professor, corresponding member of the National Academy of Sciences, who created a new type of experimental higher education institution in the east of the country, and his appointment as the Ministry of Education in the early 90s gives rise to reforms throughout the country. Erezhep Mambetkaziyev came to work in my government in 1993 on the recommendation of President Nursultan Abishevich Nazarbayev. He knew him personally and he appointed him to the post of the Ministry of Education. I must say that he is a very competent person, far-seeing, far-thinking, well-knowing, the right person who was always able to maintain his positions, a right person at this difficult time. It was not an easy time, there was a lack of money and the main task was survive, and at the same time not to lose the policy that the president determined. I think that he coped with his task very well. He is always charged with new ideas, he is always looking for challenges and delivers results. Within the short period of time of the leadership of the Ministry of Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan, he implemented major innovations. The opening of the Eurasian National University and the first regional innovative universities such as Pavlodar, Akmola, Northern Kazakhstan, Taldykurgan, Ataral. Testing and continuing education, multilingualism and a number of educational reforms were being introduced in the early 90s.
Here at Uсть-Kamenogorsk, who was called to that job because of another great man, Nursultan Nazarbayev. The two of them together understood one another. That's why Erezhep became Minister of Education. He took on that challenge and undertook very courageous activities to help Kazakhstan become a leader in the world.
Being in the status of the Ministry of Education, he boldly assumed the burden of responsibility and defended the idea of the Bolshak program. The head of state supported his innovative idea. Today, the significance of a unique project is obvious. A group of scientists from Nazarbayev University carried out its econometric analysis in order to assess the effectiveness of the implementation of the Bolshak International Program. The research data indicates that the Bolshak scholarship has proved its effectiveness.
Менің министр болған уақытым ол кез өте қиын кез. Соның ішінде білім саласында қиын. Анау мұғалімдердің жағдайы.
When I was a minister, it was a hard time. It was difficult in education. There were no conditions for teachers, for school, for higher education, for science. Despite this, some innovations were introduced. The innovation that came to us at that time was Bolshak. I was abroad for several times. I told Nureke about Bolshak. Some deputies and the governmental officials were even against it. And then trilingualism, private universities. And all this was unknown, was new at the time. Everything new was difficult for educators. I have always been supported by Elbasi. For 27 years, none of the innovations has been left behind. And all this thanks to the support of the president.
Өте қиын болды маған министрге, білім саласындағы азаматтарға, бірақ та бәрін қолдаған елбасы. 27 жылдың ішінде сол инновацияның бірі далада қалған жоқ. Бәрі өсімге шейін келеді.
Snow and handsome steamboats dissecting the Volga River expanses with merry beeps moored to the pier. For the Volga kids, it was an exciting sight, and vivid childhood memories were not overshadowed even by the difficult post-war years. And his childhood as a bright time remained in the memory of Erezhep Mambetkaziyev.
Мен өзім анау Россияның азаматымын ғой. Астрахань облысында, Калинин ауылында.
I am a Russian Kazakh. I finished Kazakh school in Kalinin village of Astrakhan region. After the end of the 7th grade, many moved to Kazakh school. Knowing Kazakh well and not knowing the Russian language, I continued my studies at the Russian school of the Volodarsky district of the Russian Federation and finished Kazakh Russia Secondary School in this district center.
Сол районның ортасында Қазақ орыс мектебін бітіргем.
A happy childhood is surrounded by the love of parents. The father, fisherman, often takes his son with him. In early spring, as soon as the river ice melted, the schooners went to sea. The teenager helped his father. Barely reaching 10 years of age, he worked on an equal footing with adults. Mom, with love and tenderness, put the best pieces of fish, the crisp crust of rye bread to her little earner. The fisherman's hard work was not paid in those pre-war years. It was paid by products and household goods. But once the father brought his son a bicycle, smelling with fresh paint, the boy's happiness was immense. He will carry this life wisdom and trembling love of his parents through all his life and will generously share with his closest and dearest people. He loves our family very much. He is a man of a strong character. He worries about everyone, about all family members, whoever they was. This is our mother, this is me, this is my brothers and sisters, grandchildren. He worries for everyone. He wants our whole family to be friendly, and this is important to him. We are gathering together on all the holidays. We must be all with children, grandchildren. This is the main joy for him.
С внуками. Для него это самая главная радость.
To be the first is to meet the unknown. So it was from his early childhood. A lively, inquiring natural mind was embodied in these achievements. A lively, inquiring natural mind was embodied in his achievements as a scientist, an educational organizer, and a political leader. The native villages remain amazing in our memory. The farther they are from us in time, the stronger is their unique attraction, even after more than half a century. Erezhep Mambetkaziyev will write in his memoir. Time will pass, and in the distant Russian village of Kalinino, a school will be named after Erezhep Mambetkaziyev, a Kazakh scientist.
Уақыт тез бітті, содан кейін менің жолым
The time flew by quickly, and my path lay to Almaty.
Алматыға келіп,
But I had to wait for a while with my studies. At that time in Almaty, there were 1-year Russian military training courses for the military, where according to the result of the medical report, my documents were accidentally sent.
бір тегін
Because of this error, I had to work the whole year as a plasterer painter, a carpenter in the suburbs of Almaty, where the Khrushchevs were building.
Алматыға келіп
Frightened by the fact that I could not pass the competition at the Faculty of Chemistry of Kazakh State University, I entered the Faculty of Chemistry and Biology of Kazakh Pedagogical Institute.
плотник болып істегенім бар. Казгуден қорқып, мен өзім бір реальный адаммын. Сол Каспийге барып, химия биология факультетіне түстім.
It was the year 1964. A brilliant galaxy of scientists is working at the Chemical Faculty of Kazakh State University. This year is called the Golden Age of the Chemical Faculty. Professor Batybek Akhmetovich Beremjanov, the Dean, Professor Olga Alfredovna Songina, and many other prominent scientists are known far beyond the borders of the Republic. One day, a charming young man came to the department. Perseverance and hard work developed from his youth allowed him to master the complex theory of electrochemistry more deeply. He was able to inspire colleagues with his ideas, and up to these days, his associates and friends co-academician Erezhep Alkhairovich Amanchik. Each of us has distinctive features. What is special for Erezhep Alkhairovich, he has never imposed himself on the leaders. But in the team in which he was, starting from his student years, he was nominated by them. Why? For a person comes who feels as if he doesn't think about himself, but thinks how together to achieve this or that goal. The scientific activity of Erezhep Mambetkaziyev made a significant contribution to the country's economy, to the preparation of a galaxy of talented scientists of Kazakhstan. In 1981, Erezhep Mambetkaziyev brilliantly defended his doctoral dissertation at Lomonosov Moscow State University. Soon, a scientific school of electrochemistry of coordination compounds is being opened in Kazakhstan on the initiative of a young scientist. A school received international recognition, and the research results are widely used in enterprises of the chemical, electronic and electrical industries not only of the Republic but also of the former Union. As a scientist-chemist with analytical thinking, innovative spirit, the ability to set goals and objectives, with his vision of the strategy and tactics of higher education contributed to Erezhep Alkhairovich to go through all the hierarchical levels of higher education, from an ordinary teacher to the Ministry of Education of the Republic, to the organizer of a modern university. Once being an experimental university, it has proved its exceptionality. The unique educational technology has paid off. Currently, more than 11,000 specialists of the new generation have been trained. The Kazakhstan-American Free University has become a personification of a new type of university. Graduates of this unique university always receive a high appreciation of professionalism in many countries of the world, such as United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Germany, Switzerland, Russia, Greece, and others. The university is 25 years old. About 40 foreigners arrived not only from America but also from Europe, Canada, Singapore, Malaysia. The Americans have come to doctoral studies. We have a quality education. They also provide quality education. All this, I think, is our success. Every year, 30 to 40 people come to teach us. They have their own methodology. Studying their methods, we are ready to introduce new things with them.
Олардың өзінің методикасы бөлек. Біз соны қарап, солармен бірге жаңалық енгізуге дайынбыз.
Performances of prominent scientists from near and far abroad, public figures, students and scientific elite of Kazakhstan are solemnly heard in the magnificent modern temple of science and education of the Kazakh-American Free University, which has turned into it over a quarter of a century.
And when we go home and we talk about the Kazakh-American Free University with our friends, we can always say the rector, now president, is a man that we can trust. As a result of this, we have formed an organization many years ago we call the Kazakh CoServe International. CoServe International actually began right here in Uсть-Kamenogorsk in our cooperation with first East Kazakhstan State University and then with the Kazakh-American Free University. So we've been working together a long time, and we've proven that cooperation between people who live halfway around the world is efficient, it works.
The experience of the Kazakh-American Free University currently serves as a science-based, successfully functioning model of a new type of university. As the confirmation of it, there is 100% of demand for its graduates and the expansion of areas of cooperation with foreign partners.
It's actually what we are. It is a true partnership between Kazakhstan and America. Because we know that in the world today, people need to learn how to understand each other, how to work together, that the world is a global world with global problems. We need to learn each other's languages, and we need to get experience from each other. And that is really the foundation of what we're doing here at this university.
Partnership has expanded the boundaries of the global educational space, diplomatic and international relations. Erezhep Mambetkaziyev, together with his American colleagues, Kazakhstani university professors, was twice honored to attend the traditional national breakfast with the participation of the US Presidents Bush in 2004 and Barack Obama in 2011. Members of the government, US leaders, representatives of the world intellectual elite in Washington on the invitation of the US Congress.
Адамзаттың екінші ұстазы атанған Abu Nasr al-Farabi'дің екі қағидасы.
Abu Nasr al-Farabi, the second largest teacher of humanity, has two postulates. First, education given in a wrong way may cause irreparable harm to humanity. The second is how many languages you know, so many friends you have. And the Kazakh-American Free University is based on these two postulates. Why? Firstly, we give students not only education but also prepare them to become leaders of independent Kazakhstan, as it is indicated in the university's mission. Secondly, we teach students in 3 languages, alongside with knowledge of the native language. By studying the language of another people, you learn their culture. Thus, you become a citizen of the globe. Isn't it a goal of the modern global education?
Жаһандық білім берудің мақсаты да сол емес пе? Университетімізге осы екі векторды белгілеп берген оның көреген басшысы Erezhep Mambetkaziyev.
For the period of functioning of the university, about 500 foreign teachers and specialists took part in the educational process and research work.
So for me, coming to Kazakhstan every September and working with the young people in particular is just one of the highlights of my year. I look at the university now, look at the young people, but I think they're interrelated in that the people that are attracted to come to this school come because of what the school is. And it's not your traditional university. It's a very open university in terms of encouraging discussion.
700 students and undergraduates took part in international leadership, American cultural exchange programs of internships in many cities of the United States.
It's really a great honor and pleasure for me to be here in Kafu. I am really grateful to the whole team of Kafu, and we studied in Afghanistan in the Institute of Leadership Development. There we heard about the Kazakh-American Free University. So I did a little bit literature review, and there I found that the university is founded by some of the greatest leader in Kazakhstan, Mambetkaziyev. Plus there are many partners like the University of Colorado, the German University, the Canadian University, many universities in Russia, and universities in Kazakhstan.
Partnership in the modern educational space, training of leaders of the 21st century is currently one of the promising and relevant areas of the International Leadership Program. The project, developed jointly with US universities, meets the best criteria of world practice and ensures the formation of the intellectual elite of Kazakhstan. In general, I can say that our educational space gives our students the opportunity to be more competitive, to reveal their talents. After all, there are so many young people with undisclosed talents. The fate of the young generation has always worried and excites Erezhep Mambetkaziyev. They may be his students or his own children and grandchildren. Every day he realizes his plans and goals in order to be involved in the best world educational systems. He has done a lot for his country and believes that all the best is yet to be done. Somehow, in one of his interviews he will say, "Happy people are happy in everything."
Мамбетказиевтер өзі көп балалы ел емес, біздің анамыз.
With Raushan, my wife, we have been living together for more than 50 years. Mambetkazievs are not large. My mother gave birth to 8, but 6 died in those far hard times. I became a person thanks to my brother and relatives. I became a man. The Mambetkazievs have 2 sons and 1 daughter. There are grandchildren and even 2 great-grandchildren. Kazakh people are smart. Kazakh people are peaceful. Kazakhs are patient people. And it's not worth disturbing anything. If we are akin to each other, there is responsibility that we can exceed all expectations.
Соны қозғаудың қажеті жоқ. Біріміз ағайын десек, талай белестерден асып кететін мүмкіндігіміз бар сияқты.
Time is rapidly changing the world. Each new day for academician Mambetkaziyev is the challenge of the time, addressed to his vital energy of a caring person, to the potential of a scientist, a leader, to a loving father, grandfather, to the citizen of his country.